Hey everyone, welcome back to another 90-day recap chat. This time we have a new season of 90 Day Fiance. We're going to get into it, but basically we're following couples on this reality show. And one person's from the US, the other's from another country, and they basically have 90 days to tie the knot so they could be in the same country with each other, get those 90-day visas. This is 90 Day Fiance. And you can imagine with those type of dynamics, the rush on marriage, how messy this situation can turn out. But let's get into it, starting with Aisha and Maxwell. She's 38, he's 28, and he's from Nigeria. It starts off with us seeing her in church, speaking in tongues, talking about her Pentecostal faith and belief system and how they do church. And there's a belief that everyone has a gift. Her pastor really, to me, gets the floor, They're kind of getting a little commercial promo for their church a little bit. But Aisha says, she knew she had a gift when she was a kid. She was in the store and God told her the next song that was coming on, and then that song came on. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure how amazing that gift is. I'm not trying to belittle her gift, and I'm sure God is using her, and maybe he's used her in other ways since then. But to me, I don't know about how, figuring out the next song is going to come on. The story just wasn't that deep for me. I'm sorry, Aisha. Love to you, of course, and any gifts that God has given you. That's just my point blank, first take response to that story. And she talks about God told her and led her to Maxwell. And they met online. She was trying to, hoping God had her husband here. And he told her, you need to go outside. Maybe you need to go outside the box, so to speak. And that's what made her try Nigeria and how she met Maxwell. They hit it off. They spoke the same language. They're both about business, about God. Everything is perfect with the two of them. But because he's from Nigeria, the first thought people would have is this Nigerian scam, right? So then somehow they both introduce their friends to each other, and their friends want to get together and hook up. So they do like a double date to Nigeria, and the two friends actually proposed first, and then the next day Maxwell proposed to her. She seems to be worried a lot about what people think about something being a Nigerian scam. But if it's from God, does it really matter what people think? Well, it gets worse because he was approved for his visa, but because his friend also went and was doing their visa interview on the same day, they had pictures of them where they were both in the picture together. So I guess they thought something was weird going on. So then his visa that he just received got denied, and he started fussing and fighting about it. So they just said, we're just going to ban you from the USA entirely. So she was like, that's the devil is a lie. You're not going to stop my man. So she told him to go back in there and make sure you go back in and see somebody. So he listened. He was able to go back in. They took the ban off of him, but they said he could not to get the K1 visa because he was already denied. So now they have to apply for the spousal visa, which is much harder. The process is longer. So she's like, no, I'm still not going to take this. We're going to figure this out. And you are going to be coming to me soon, Maxwell. So that's the story with Aisha and Maxwell. God bless them both. All right, so we have Katie and Josh. So Katie's been kind of hoboing around the world, living in different countries, just traveling and just doing her thing. So she hooks up with a guy, I believe from England. I'm not sure if they met online, something of that nature. Josh happens to be there, one of the friends. So everybody's getting sloppy drunk. She likes to make out with multiple people. So she made out with the guy she originally met, and then she tried to make out with other people. She was vomiting. It was just a mess. So then she asked Josh, can I make out with you? He's like, well, you've made out with all these other people. I don't think so. So at some point, she's leaving the bar, and I guess the other guy skipped out. I don't know what happened to him, but she's like, there's creepers out here. Josh, can you kind of help me escort me home? So he tries to walk her home, and they somehow end up making out on a bench anyway. And that's the beginning of their love story. Katie has OCD. She has a lot of different issues. One of which she likes to make out with people that she says she knows. I was going to say random people, but it could get to that. I don't know. She has OCD, and it sounds like it's somewhat severe. And I assume that the whole show wants us to learn more about OCD as well. So that's kind of a part of the reason why she's probably was chosen to be here. The two of them are opposite. She's very wild and crazy, and Josh is very prim and proper. So they're kind of like an opposites attract type of situation, but her OCD and the fact that sometimes she's not able to come through when she's asked to do certain things may end up being a problem. It's been a problem in her past relationships, the making out with other people. These are a couple issues that Josh may have with her in the future and has had, but he's continued to stay in the relationship. But because now he's moving to the U.S. and staying there with her, he's going to see everything, and that's one of her biggest fears. So she's supposed to have an apartment, but she last minute finds some random apartment online, and she's in her storage space looking for stuff. She has like an old mattress, and I don't know what she was going to try to do with these things, but I guess this was going to be the apartment. So she said she promised him that they were going to have an apartment, but she's just really now trying to figure that situation out in her storage space. So they end up staying in a hotel. I guess she sets up a hotel for a couple of days so they can get this new place. Hopefully this place is even legit because she hasn't even physically been in there. She's got the U.S. flag and red, white, and blue balloons and all these things to meet her bae. So he doesn't like much PDA, but she's trying to make out with him for 4 minutes at a time in the airport. So they kind of kiss for a bit, for a length of time, but she said it only felt like 4 seconds. She wants a whole 4-minute makeout session. I think that's a little bit too much. And I'll say for most people, especially men, that's going to lead to too much. I mean, 4 minutes is a long time, especially publicly. So maybe that's another reason why Josh doesn't want to do the PDA as well. Because it can lead to other things that you can't just easily turn off. She then pulls out her sexy lingerie that she's going to be wearing. She says, hopefully they'll sleep together more because they haven't slept together as much as she wants. And that will make their relationship better or something of that nature. I feel like she's very sexually driven, and I wonder if her OCD is connected to sex. And that's really going to be an issue, especially if she wants to keep making out with multiple people. That sounds like it's going to be an issue down the line. I'm not sure why Josh signed up for this. She's 26, he's 30. Unless, I know opposites attract, but he may be that caregiver type of guy because it sounds like she's going to need one. When I saw she didn't have the apartment set up, I'm like, well, she has OCD to this level. Why doesn't she have friends or family members that can help her with the big issues? Because she said with OCD, you pay attention so much to the small issues that you don't give attention to the big issues. And I think she needs assistance with that, even if it's through some type of medical service, someone that could call and check in on her and help her with things. Why does she not have that? But it sounds like if Josh is coming into her life, he's probably going to be that person that's going to have to help her with all these things. So does he know what he's signing up for? His expectations of her seem maybe higher than what she can give, and she already knows that. So hopefully it's not doomed from the start. She told us she went through her whole phase. She's 26. I don't know. Age timeline, she's still kind of young. I don't know much about whole phases because I never had one. But to me, she still seems like she's young and she should still try to figure out life. But to me, honestly, she doesn't even need to go through any whole phases any longer. She needs to kind of figure out her life and how to get the best out of her life while having OCD. I think really that should be her focus. And unless Josh is a caregiver and well trained in this, he's going to need some help with her as well. So that's Katie and Josh. Mallory and Rajat, I think I said his name right. He's from Turkey. She's from Alabama. She is one of those Southern girls. She used the word redneck. I didn't, but that's kind of her vibe. Rajat, he's not super prim and proper, but he definitely seems like he has another life. He works as a charter boat. Is it a charter boat? Yeah, like a charter boat driver. And, he drives tourists around through the ocean or wherever it is, seas and oceans. And so he does that. And he says it's an adventure. They have adventurous times there on the boat as he's driving along. So it seems like a pretty good gig. They met, I believe it was online while swiping. And, they are a little different. She says he's a 10 and he says he doesn't like skinny girls. So I'll just say she's a full-figured woman. And that's what he's into. He's going to be sad to be leaving his family. And it may be a culture shock for him to live in this very conservative area that Mallory lives in. She tells us a little bit about her friends, that they're kind of crazy and they drink a lot. But there are also some that have conservative mindsets. And Rajat, he's from another country. They have multiple belief systems there. Will the people in her town accept Rajat? We will see. We will see. That's the main issue with them. They are a little bit different from each other, but I can feel the love. Rajat seems very sensitive. He cries a lot. He cried when he proposed to her. He starts to cry when he thinks about leaving his family. But he wants to do this with her and for her, and they seem to be like they're really in love. So I do wish the best for these two. But with the whole political issues get in the way, do they need to go to another town? I don't know. I don't know if she should leave her family and friends, but she already seems like she knows that they can be a problem. So maybe you can go visit them, but not live there. I mean, just a suggestion. But 90 Day fans, that would be no fun, would it? We have Edward and Marissa. She's 45, he's 32. She actually works at the dress shop in New York. She is one of the head people that works there. And it's the same dress shop, wedding dress shop, bridal shop, where they do say yes to the dress. So she seems to be very high-powered in her career, very well respected. She's been divorced, has 2 kids from that situation. And she met Edward on a girls' trip, and she reconnected with him again the next time she did her girls' trip. And the two of them just have decided to start a relationship. Things seem to go well. He works in, I believe, the hotel industry. So they have 2 different scenarios in their careers and whatnot. He's, let's say, about 13 years younger. The fact that she co-parents with her ex, that may kind of be a clash. Her ex sounds like he's a bit territorial. He said Marissa said especially with the boys being involved, he's definitely going to be trying to look out for his boys. Edward decided, he's coming to the U.S., so he needed to get a circumcision. So that was a crazy story. And the stitches fell out, so he had to go back. That doesn't sound like a fun thing at all. But it seems like he may have gotten all stitched up. I guess we're going to find out when Edward arrives. I believe he's coming to New York to be with Marissa. It had been a long time since Marissa had felt beautiful and like a woman again and seen, and Edward did that for her. So they're going on their 90-day journey. Her plan was for them to get married almost right away, but she's like, well, even her friends warn her, you may just want to take all of that time you need to see if this is going to be the right fit for you. It seems like she's saying she has bigger challenges in her life than Edward has. She doesn't know if he'll be able to handle some of the major issues and things that she deals with. So that may be a problem for him. But I feel like she could lead him in that area. If they care about each other, that can be worked on. Shay and Annabelle, they're both 54, but it seems like Shay is a bit of a player. He met Annabelle through one of his friends, who they go to the Philippines a lot, and so Annabelle is one of their friends, so he met her through that situation. We find that Shay has 2 previous relationships, had kids within those relationships, marriages to be exact. So I think they were talking online, talking every day, FaceTiming and all of this. And when he finally arrives to meet her, he's like, well, let me go take this shower first. And he turns around and she's already in the shower with him with the scrub brush. He said she was scrubbing crevices he didn't even know he had. She helped him with his feet, so now he keeps his feet together. And that was the start of their relationship. So we find out Shay's a bit of a party guy, and he's saying, in the long run, he's probably not going to give that up. He's a guy about town. He's walking all through the town. Everybody's saying hello to him. Everybody loves him, but he also sounds like he's out there drinking, partying it up, and half the time doesn't know who or what he's hooking up with. His ex, Nicole, she's definitely still has a thing for him, and he sounds like he's been canoodling around with her until Annabelle is about to arrive, and now he's gonna cut off all ties and act as if he's been a good boy this whole time. There was an incident previously where she picked up his phone while they were in the bed together, and Annabelle was very upset. He had to remedy and mend that situation, but I'm sure if she found out they were still canoodling or whatever they were doing, hooking up, I don't know, she may not give him another chance, and that's what Shay is afraid of. Also, another issue is his adult daughter who lives next door to him, and she says she should be the first woman in his life, and Annabelle shouldn't expect to take that spot. Nicole's ex is threatening to tell Annabelle everything about how he's messing around with people, and even Nicole suspects he's messing around with one of his friend's daughters. So, Shay, you have a lot of messiness going on. Doesn't look like this type of guy, this jolly guy, giving me a bit of Santa vibes. This guy, is he going down too many chimneys? Maybe he is. And he just doesn't seem like he would be that guy. But, when you look at his face, you see that, he's not so squeaky clean and jolly like the depictions of Santa that we know. Anyway, I hope Annabelle the best. He reveals, hey, Annabelle only really has about 3 outfits, so, he's been buying her stuff and has a closet full of clothes for her. So I wonder what Annabelle's situation. Does she want to come here to have a better life? What does she want out of this? I feel like she cares about him as far as what we see on his end, but I need to see more of her story. All right, that's Shay and Annabelle. So this episode was mostly introductions. We still have a few more couples that we haven't met yet, but we will be getting into more as we continue 90 Day Fiance in this new season. Thoughts, comments, questions, let me know. Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com or check us out. But you can also check us out on our other platforms at cbiztvmedia.com. We will talk again real soon, guys, right here on CBiz Media. This is Irene. All the best. God bless. Faith, love, and trends.